Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like this is a bad composition right here. No, we're good. Okay, hi. So this video is gonna be a little bit different than my usual ones. So basically, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Alexis. I'm a personal trainer, and yeah, that's it. Okay, hi. My boyfriend works in construction and came up with a brilliant idea while we were complaining about missing the gym during quarantine. He came up with a brilliant idea of how to make dumbbells and barbells out of cement and buckets. And we did it, and it worked really well. We made 2 dumbbells and a barbell. Both dumbbells are 25 pounds and the barbell is 65. So we decided to make some smaller dumbbells today and a heavier barbell today. Yesterday we filmed a video of us doing it for his channel. He has a channel where he fixes things and builds things and does tool reviews, things like that. It's called Aaron Fixes Stuff. I'll link it below. But we filmed a video yesterday to put it on his channel, and we watched it last night, and I looked so bad in it.
So the ones we got are the 2.5 quarts, each one.
And so he agreed, because he's so sweet, he agreed to refilm us doing it today because we wanted to make more weights anyway. So I explained most of it, but he explains a few things throughout the video, or like when I forgot something or whatever, he comes in and explains. But he's very good at explaining this stuff. He is very smart, and he'd be embarrassed if I was saying this in front of him. That's why I'm filming this intro by myself. But he's really good at explaining things, and it's very easy. It costs less than $100 to get all the materials, and it took less than an hour to make a barbell and 2 dumbbells. So anyone can do it. You can do it in your apartment. The cement, as you'll see, mixes itself. It's extremely easy. So yeah, that's it. I'll meet you back here for the outro, but enjoy the video. Okay, hi. So first, what you will need, first I want to show you the finished product because we made these yesterday. So here's our barbell. We're making a heavier one today. And then here is one of our dumbbells. Oh, and there's the other one. Look how cute they are. So we'll be making smaller ones of those. So all you will need is concrete. This is the kind, we're gonna link everything down below that we use, like all our supplies, but this is the concrete we are using. You don't have to mix it. It mixes itself. You just pour it in and then pour the water in, and it does its thing. You need these steel.
So whatever iron, whatever bar to make your barbell, and this we're gonna cut down to make the dumbbells. You can buy a long piece and cut it down with a hacksaw, or you can buy a smaller piece to begin with and then just attach the buckets onto them.
Perfect.
And then you don't have to cut it.
Perfect. And we found these in the plumbing section at Home Depot.
Yes.
And the only other thing you need is buckets. We found these in the paint aisle. They have big ones that are 10 quarts, 2.5 quarts, and we got little ones that are just 1 quart. And that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the majority of the explaining to show you guys that if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, but he's gonna correct me if I say something wrong. So you're gonna take your first bucket. We're gonna make our barbell first. Take your first bucket, put it on the ground, make sure it's on a level surface. You're gonna take your pole and put it in the center. And it's helpful to have 2 people, but if you just have yourself, you can pour the concrete into like a bowl to make it easier, so that way you're not like fucking with the bag, trying to pour it in so that way you can hold the pole with one hand and pour it from a bowl with the other hand. He came up with that trick, not me. Okay, so then...
You're pouring concrete?
Yeah, I'm pouring concrete.
Okay.
I got it. I have to cut it open with a knife, right? Okay. Also, you're going to inhale semen if you don't have a mask. We should all have masks at home right now. Semen. Do I need to put the bottom or is the top on?
Yeah, it's not a lot of dust.
All right, so we're going to pour some cement, then pour the water, and then like move our way up basically. Oh, Jesus.
The bigger your bucket is, the less you should fill it up. And the reason is because the wider the bucket is, the more it takes for the water to saturate it all. Because with this type of cement, it's meant for post setting, so for garden and stuff. So you dig a hole, you pour this, you add the water onto it, you don't need to mix. So if you have too much cement, the water won't mix properly. So with this big bucket, we're doing about 1/3 of the way, so it's filled till right over here. We're going to add the water, let it saturate, add more cement, add more water, and so on. Let's get a shim to...
Oh yeah. Okay, so if you're unsure if your pole is centered, you can measure all the way around and just make sure it's the same measurement all the way around. That's how you can make sure it's centered. So we just did that off camera, so now we're gonna start pouring the water in.
Put more.
Whatever you're expecting. Yeah.
That's good.
See how it's bubbling?
You're gonna see it kind of bubbling, and that's the water saturating it. If you want to help speed it up, you can take a shim or whatever, a spoon or whatever thing you want. Just kind of stab it just up and down to let the water and help the water saturate the whole thing. Just like that.
More cement now.
So I have a question.
What?
What happens if this moves while we're filling it up?
That's okay.
Okay, why is it okay?
Because it's not, I don't know.
That's okay, because as it's setting up, this can still move. So as it's setting, it can still, once it starts getting harder is when you don't want it to move, because then, I mean, imagine if you're kind of baking a cake. At first it's pretty liquid and fluid, and as it bakes it gets more rigid. So if you immediately stick your hand into cake batter, the batter will kind of close around your finger, but as it's baking, if you stick your finger in, that hole will stay. So as it's drying, if you move, that hole is going to get bigger. So in the beginning stages it's fine. Once you get a little bit down the road, you'll want to make sure. But the nice thing is, as you're filling these up, this already supports itself, and you don't need to hold it as much anymore. So now, all you need is one hand to do it, because we know that we're centered, so now it's not going to move anymore, and we're good to go.
They have level apps you can get on your phone too if you want to
Okay.
do an extra measure to make sure. So we're just doing the same thing we did before.
Okay. Let's go up. Cement.
Okay, so we just did that a couple more times until we use an entire bag of cement. If you don't have a bucket this big, or if you want to make something like a little bit smaller and lighter like we did yesterday, you can just pick a point on the bucket you want to fill it to and just make it sure you fill it to that point on both buckets so it's the same weight. So we're going by bags of cement since this is such a big bucket. So now that that's done, we're just going to let it set for 20 to 30 minutes.
To 40 minutes, yep.
20 to 40 minutes. So now we're gonna get started on our little cute little dumbbells.
So so I know we edited, but we started this project maybe 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's already starting to be secure. So within 15 minutes, it's going to be mostly hard to the touch, but it's not going to be fully cured. Within 40 minutes, it's going to be ready. You're going to be able to pick this up, and the bar will hold it up. So within 40 minutes, it'll be good to go, and you flip it and just do the other side, and you're done.
Yeah, so you can get this done in half a day.
Yeah, easily.
Easily.
Okay.
Okay, cute little dumbbells.
All right.
So we have these dumbbells that we did, and they weigh about 25 pounds each. So I wanted a little bit lighter ones to do like lateral raises and bicep curls with. So we just got these 1 quart ones. And we need to cut that little hole.
Yeah.
So like he said earlier, you can get smaller holes so you don't have to cut it. But if you do want to just get a long one, all you need is a hacksaw, if you have one of those. Which looks like that. I didn't know what a hacksaw looked like. But if not, wait, I just got caught up in my words. But you don't have to do that. You can just buy shorter ones. We just happen to have the tools available.
And it's cheaper when you buy it as a big piece, and because I have all the tools, so why buy the cut ones when I can just do it myself? So that's why we got the bigger ones.
Just find a boyfriend with tools.
So we cut these down, that big bar that we had before. I cut it down to 16-inch pieces. You can buy one of these that's 18 inches so that you don't have to cut it, and then that'll save you some time. And then a little trick is if you want to make sure that you're centered, hopefully you can see that in the center of this bucket there's like a little ridge. And if you put that right on top of the ridge, you know that you're centered. So that's a little trick to make sure that this is centered, because if you put it over here, right, the weight is going to kind of wobble around. So just make sure you're on the center of it before you start pulling the cement in.
Okay, for the purpose of the video, for these smaller ones, I poured the cement into a bowl and then poured it from the bowl into one of these smaller buckets, one of the ones we're not using, just to show you can do it on your own. So you're going to take the pole, make sure it's centered, and then if you squeeze the bucket, it creates more of like a funnel situation, so it's easier to pour so you don't make a giant mess. So we're going to fill it halfway, you think?
Yeah, this one can go halfway.
Halfway.
Stage doesn't matter as much, right? Because it's going to get the second one that's going to support it.
And then we add our water. Make sure you cover the cement all the way.
And if you look from the side, you can see kind of how the water is penetrating and doing its thing.
It's saturating down.
And that's just that on a smaller scale. So if you put too much water, it's not a big deal. Remember, this isn't structural. You're not building anything with this. It's just for homemade weights. So the ratio doesn't have to be exact what they call for. Technically, they say 1 gallon of water per 50-pound bag, but you don't have to sit here and be a chemistry major to figure this thing out. So the water is slowly penetrating down to the bottom of it. Once it's done, we can do the second round. Go ahead. And then now at this point, we want to make sure that we're kind of level. So if you own a level and you can do it perfect, if not the end of the world. Some of them are even magnetic, so they can kind of do it for you. But like I said, if you don't own a level, and there you go, it's already holding itself. And this was maybe a minute.
Yeah.
So it's already supporting its own weight. But there you go, you can do it on your own. It's pretty easy. Okay.
Okay. Hi, we're back. Look. It's been, I don't know, an hour, but it could have been less time than that. We're gonna finish the dumbbells and the barbell now. Excited. Oh, dumbbells are gonna be much easier than the barbell. Flip it, center it, pour it.
Tilt it. That's good.
Okay.
A little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. That's good. Okay. Straighten it up.
Are you sure it's straight?
Positive.
Okay, we finished the 2 dumbbells, so now in their setting, now we have the big boy. So we're gonna have to flip it and put that end in the middle of this bucket. If you're doing it on your own, you should be able to do it if you use a bit smaller ones, like these 10-quart ones, and this barbell weighs about 65 pounds. If you want to do a heavier one, like a big one like this, you take over.
So there's 2 ways. If you have someone to help you, someone can flip this over. One person holds it erect, LOL, and then you fill in the cement and the water just like with the other ones. If you're doing it by yourself, you can just grab a little one of these, hold it, pour the cement in, and then pour cement, add water, and then as it's setting, remember we kind of talked about the analogy of the cake, only this one is like a bicep cake. So you would, once it starts hardening, you can pull the scrap piece of metal out, let it set, and then once it dries, you would just drop it onto here because you would have the hole in the center from the scrap piece. So 2 ways of doing it. If you have an assistant, we're going to flip, and in our case we do have an assistant, so we're going to flip this over, hold it, pour the cement, add the water, let it dry, and then we'll be good. If you're doing it by yourself, what you would do is just grab a scrap piece. It could be a broomstick, it could be anything that's going to be the same diameter as whatever pole you end up buying from Home Depot. You're going to do this, like I said, pour the cement, pour the water, give it about 5 minutes to start setting, and then slowly pull the pole out. That should give you a nice circular hole in the cement that you made. Let it set fully, and then just drop it onto this one.
And then how do you get it to stick to the pole after?
So if you want to get it to stick to the pole, like I can't pick it up, I'm embarrassed. So if you want it to stick like this one is, what you can do is once you reverse it and you put it on here, then you can put some glue. So a really good glue that holds anything to anything is this liquid nails. There we go. And then you can just glue it in and then it'll stay on there. So because we do the same way, we like having this to where it doesn't come out. So those are our 2 options. So we're going to just do it this way.
Okay.
Do you want to pour and I hold this?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, should we open a new bag?
We should open a new bag because we need a new bag. So let's move on to the
Also, we
side.
will use a whole bag, right?
Yeah. So we used a full 50-pound bag for the last one, so we're going to use a 50-pound bag for this one too. And she's going to do that. I'm just going to flip this over.
You got it?
Maybe.
How about I help you? Got it.
Haha!
Woo! Good job.
Nice. That's good. That. Here's a little tip. Once this sets, if one side is much heavier, or it shouldn't be much heavier because they should be pretty identical, but if you notice that one side is heavier than the other, you can either add a little bit of cement to the one side to make them equal, or just hold the bar a little bit off center, right, and that'll kind of compensate for it. Because again, this is a temporary fix for the gym. This isn't replacing the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you end up having a little bit too much water, what would you do?
It's okay, just let it fully harden and then you can just pour out the excess water.
So it sounds like there's no harm done.
No harm done.
Right.
So it's really hard to mess it up, obviously.
So now we're just going to hold this for a couple of minutes, let it start setting, and we'll be done. So how long would you say this dumbbell or barbell and 2 dumbbells took total? What would you say?
Around an hour, and that's a high estimate. I would say less than an hour.
And on a scale of 0 to Bob the Builder, what do you have to be to assemble this on your own?
Like a 1. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Okay.
So when he taught me yesterday, I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. So I'll film the outro in my room. So yeah, that's the end of the garage portion. Trust me when I say I just turned the camera off and back on just to show you that it's already setting. He can let it go and it's standing up.
Now I wouldn't let go of this because if it does start tilting, it's gonna come falling, but that's how quickly this stuff starts setting at least. So it's within 10 minutes, it's pretty solid. So I would say, like I said, if you are doing this, if you did this with a small scrap piece of metal, so right, you would just in maybe 2-3 minutes pull it out and then just let it set fully with that hole in it like we talked about before.
Yeah. Okay, hi. I hope you enjoyed our little tutorial. If you have any questions on this project, just comment below. I will consult Aaron if I don't know the answer, and we'll comment back and help you guys. I'm so glad we've already had a couple really good workouts with them, so I encourage you to try to do this project yourself because it really is very helpful and very easy to do. So yeah, that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out Aaron's channel if you ever need help installing something or fixing something. He may have a video on it. And follow me on Instagram at AlexisClaireFits. And send me pictures of your dumbbells and barbells if you do this project yourself. I want to see. Okay, that's it. Love you so much. Hope you're staying safe. We'll talk soon. Okay, bye.